My name is Alma, and I'm about to tell you how my own sister stole the retirement trip I'd planned and paid for, and how I made sure she paid for it in ways she never saw coming. It started 6 months before my dad's retirement. I was having coffee with him at his favorite diner when he brought it up. "You know what I've always wanted to do, Alma?" Dad asked, stirring his coffee slowly. "What's that, Dad?" "Take a month-long European tour, see Italy, France, Greece. Your mother and I always talked about it before she passed, but we never had the money or time. Now that I'm retiring, it feels like my last chance." I reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "Then let's make it happen. For your retirement. I'll handle everything, the planning, the bookings, all of it." His eyes lit up. "Honey, that would cost a fortune. You don't have to do that for me. Dad, you've worked 40 years at the plant, 40 years of early mornings and overtime. You deserve this. Let me do this for you, please." "You're too good to me, sweetheart. But what about your sister? Shouldn't Claire be part of this too?" I should have known then that mentioning Claire would be a mistake. "Sure, we can both go. I'll organize everything and we'll split the cost fairly." "That sounds perfect, a family trip. Your mother would have loved that." Over the next 3 months, I spent every spare moment planning. I researched tour companies, compared prices, read hundreds of reviews. I called Claire twice a week with updates. "So I've booked the tour package," I told her during one call. "It's $25,000 total for all 4 of us. You, me, Dad, and Aunt Sophie. I'll pay $15,000, you pay $10,000. Sound fair?" "Wait, why are you paying more?" Claire asked suspiciously. "Because I make more, Claire. I'm a software engineer making 6 figures. You work part-time at the salon. I'm just trying to make it easier on you." "Fine. When do you need the money?" "Next week. The final payment is due, and I need to secure everything." A week passed, then 2. Claire kept making excuses every time I asked. "I'm a little short this month, Alma. Can you give me more time?" "The car needed repairs. Marcus had to take it to the shop." "Marcus lost some hours at work. Things are tight right now." Finally, I just paid the whole $25,000 myself. I didn't want to lose the booking. I called Claire to tell her, "Don't worry about your share anymore. Consider it my gift to Dad. I've got us all booked, you, me, Dad, and even Aunt Sophie. Everything's confirmed." "Oh, Alma, you're such a saint," Claire said, her voice dripping with something I couldn't quite identify. "Always saving the day. Always the responsible one." 2 months before the trip, Dad called me, his voice strange and hesitant. "Alma, sweetheart, we need to talk about something." "What's wrong, Dad? Are you okay? Is everything all right?" "I'm fine, but there's been a change with the trip, with the plans." My stomach dropped. "What kind of change?" "Claire talked to me yesterday. She said she wants to make this trip special, just the 2 of us, father-daughter bonding. She thinks it would mean more without a crowd." I couldn't breathe. "Dad, I paid $25,000 for this trip. I organized everything. I spent months planning it." "I know, honey, and Claire said she'll pay you back your half. She's really excited about this special time together, and I thought maybe you'd understand." "My half? Dad, I paid for all of it. Claire didn't pay a single dollar." "That's not what she told me. She said you 2 split it evenly, 50-50. "She's lying. I have all the receipts, all the confirmations. Everything's in my name and charged to my credit card." "Alma, don't be dramatic. Your sister wouldn't lie about something like this. She said you agreed to this." That's when I knew. Claire had played Dad perfectly, and he'd chosen her over me without even checking the facts. "Fine," I said quietly. "Enjoy your trip, Dad." I hung up and immediately called my brother Derek. "Derek, you're not going to believe what just happened." Derek arrived at my apartment an hour later. I showed him everything: the booking confirmations, credit card statements, email chains with Claire where she promised to pay and never did. "This is insane," Derek said, scrolling through the emails on my laptop. "She manipulated Dad and stole your trip. What are you going to do?" "I'm going to talk to a lawyer. This is fraud, plain and simple." "You'd actually sue Claire? Our sister?" "I'd sue anyone who stole $25,000 from me and turned my own father against me, wouldn't you?" The next day I met with Patricia Morrison, an attorney who specialized in family law and fraud cases. "Miss Morrison, can I sue my sister for this? Do I have a case?" Patricia reviewed my documents carefully, making notes. "You absolutely can. This is a clear case of fraud and theft by deception. She made false representations to your father to secure assets you purchased. We can file both civil and criminal charges. Criminal charges against my own sister. Fraud over $5,000 is a felony in this state. But before we go nuclear, let's try to resolve this. Contact your sister, tell her you want your money back or you're taking legal action. Record the conversation if your state allows it, which it does. And if she refuses, then we file charges and sue. Trust me, the evidence you have is rock solid. I called Claire that evening, recording app ready on my phone. Hey, Alma, how are you? How's work? Cut the act, Claire. I want my $25,000 back. Now. What are you talking about? We split the cost? No, we didn't. I have every receipt, every email where you promised to pay and didn't. You lied to Dad and stole my trip. Silence, then. I didn't steal anything. Dad wanted me to go. He chose me. After you lied to him about paying half. I'm giving you 1 week to return my money or I'm filing charges for fraud. Claire laughed. You won't do that. You wouldn't sue your own sister. You're too soft. Try me. 1 week, Claire. I'm serious. Whatever. Good luck with that. 5 days later, Derek called me, his voice urgent. Alma, Dad wants to talk to you. He sounds upset. Is he going to apologize? Just talk to him, please. I met Dad at the same diner where this all started. He looked tired and older somehow. Alma, Claire told me about your threat. You can't sue your own sister over a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Dad, she committed fraud. She lied to you, stole $25,000 from me, and manipulated you into choosing her. That's not a misunderstanding. She's your sister. Family doesn't sue family. We work things out. Family doesn't steal from family either, but she did, and you took her side without even asking for proof. I slid a folder across the table. Everything's in there. Every receipt, every email, every text message. I paid for everything. Claire paid nothing. She lied to you, Dad. Dad opened the folder, his hands shaking as he read through the documents, page after page of evidence. I didn't know. She told me you split it. You didn't want to know. You wanted to believe her because she made you feel special, but she used you to hurt me and you let her. What are you going to do? I'm filing charges tomorrow, criminal fraud and civil theft. She had her chance to make this right. She laughed at me instead. Dad's face went pale. Alma, please, don't do this. Let's work it out as a family. No, Dad. I'm done being the understanding one. Claire needs to face consequences for once in her life. I left him sitting there and went straight to Patricia's office. Patricia filed the charges on Monday. By Wednesday, Claire was served with both the criminal complaint and the civil lawsuit by a process server at her workplace. She called me within an hour, screaming hysterically. Are you insane? You're actually suing me? Having me served at work? I warned you. You chose to ignore it and laugh in my face. Dad's devastated. He can't believe you'd do this to family. He's been crying all morning. I can't believe you'd steal $25,000 from me, but here we are. I'll fight this. You have no proof. I have all the proof. Receipts, emails, recordings of you admitting you didn't pay, your lies to Dad, everything. And here's the best part, Claire. You committed fraud when you told Dad you paid half. That's a felony crime. The line went dead. 2 weeks later, we had our first court appearance. Claire brought Marcus, her husband, for support. I brought Derek and Patricia. The prosecutor, James Chen, laid out the case methodically. Your Honor, the defendant made fraudulent representations to secure travel arrangements valued at $25,000, paid for entirely by the plaintiff. The defendant then manipulated their elderly father to exclude the plaintiff from the trip, using false claims of financial contribution. This is textbook fraud. Claire's public defender looked overwhelmed and unprepared. Your Honor, this is simply a family dispute. It's theft by fraud. Chen interrupted firmly. We have documented evidence, credit card statements, emails, text messages, and recorded phone calls where the defendant admits she didn't pay but claims to their father that she did. The evidence is overwhelming. The judge reviewed the evidence carefully, taking his time. Miss Claire Henderson, the evidence here is substantial and damning. I'm setting bail at $10,000 and ordering you to have no contact with the victim or your father pending trial. Claire's face went white. No contact with my father? You can't do that. I can and I am. You manipulated him to facilitate your fraud. That makes him a victim too. Bailiff, please explain the no contact order to the defendant. Outside the courtroom, Derek hugged me tightly. I can't believe the judge actually ordered her to stay away from Dad. That's huge. The prosecutor said it's standard in cases involving elder manipulation, I explained. Dad's 65. That matters legally. Dad approached us, looking devastated and 10 years older. Alma, I'm so sorry. I read everything in the evidence packet. I should have believed you from the start. You should have, but you didn't. Can you drop the charges, please? I'll make sure she pays you back every penny. No, Dad. She needs to face real consequences, not just pay me back. She stole from me and used you to do it. That's not something a payment plan can fix. Patricia walked over briskly. Alma, the prosecutor wants to offer a plea deal, but I think we should reject it. What's the offer? Probation and restitution. But I think we can get more at trial. The evidence is overwhelming, and juries hate family betrayal cases. I looked at Claire across the lobby. She was crying, clinging to Marcus desperately. No deal, I said firmly. We go to trial. She needs to understand actions have consequences. The trial took 3 days. I testified first, walking the jury through every email, every receipt, every lie Claire told. I was calm and factual. She knew I paid everything, I told the jury. She knew, and she deliberately lied to my father to steal my place on the trip I planned and paid for. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was calculated. The prosecutor played the recording of my confrontation with Claire. The courtroom was silent. Claire's voice came through the speakers. Dad wanted me to go. My voice. After you lied to him about paying half. Silence on the recording, then Claire. You won't sue your own sister. The jury looked at Claire with disgust. Several shook their heads. Claire took the stand and tried to claim it was a misunderstanding, that she got confused. I thought Alma wanted me to go instead. I thought she was being generous and giving me her spot. Patricia destroyed her on cross-examination. Miss Henderson, you told your father you paid $10,000 toward the trip, correct? I might have said something like that. Yes or no? Did you tell him you paid $10,000? Yes. But you didn't pay anything, did you? Not $1? I was going to pay. Yes or no? Did you pay any money toward this trip? No. So you lied to your father to manipulate him into excluding your sister from a trip she paid $25,000 for? A trip she spent 3 months planning? Claire started crying. It wasn't like that. Answer the question, Miss Henderson. I just wanted special time with my dad. Is that so wrong? By lying and stealing. No further questions, Your Honor. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. They found Claire guilty on all counts: fraud, theft by deception, and elder manipulation. At sentencing 2 weeks later, the judge was harsh. Miss Henderson, you didn't just steal money. You weaponized your father's love to hurt your sister and steal from her. You showed no remorse until you faced consequences, and even now you seem to think you're the victim here. I'm sentencing you to 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, and full restitution of $25,000, plus legal fees totaling $8,000. Claire sobbed loudly. Marcus looked shell-shocked. Dad sat in the back, crying quietly into his hands. I felt nothing but relief and vindication. 3 months later, I took Dad on the European trip, just the 2 of us. Derek stayed home to handle some work obligations, and Aunt Sophie had a conflict with her schedule. It ended up being perfect. On our last night in Rome, Dad and I had dinner overlooking the Colosseum, watching the sunset paint the ancient stones orange and gold. I'm sorry, Alma, for not believing you, for choosing her without even asking questions. I know, Dad, I know you are. She's in prison because of me, because I was so stupid and gullible. No, she's in prison because of her choices. You were a victim, too. She manipulated you. Can you ever forgive me for not believing you? Eventually, yes, but not her. Never her. What she did was unforgivable. Dad nodded sadly. I understand. I don't blame you one bit. Now I'm back home, and Claire's still serving her sentence. She writes letters begging for forgiveness, claiming she's changed. I burn them without reading them. Some betrayals are unforgivable, and this is one of them. I didn't get revenge. I got justice, and that's so much better, so much more satisfying than any revenge could ever be. Have you ever paid for something special for your family, only to have someone else take credit or push you out? What would you have done in my situation? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.